Okay, we've got a big homecoming. Get to come home to CenturyLink and do it again. We're excited to do that. It was really important a couple weeks ago to connect and the chance to reconnect with a really hot team coming in. We're hoping it's a great division matchup. We're counting on them playing really well. They've been playing great football, and counting on our guys to do the same. It's going to be a good ball game for us. So, what do you got?
Just with their offense, Goff and what he's doing this year, just what stood out about him from the quarterback you've seen over the last couple of years?
They're just have been the most efficient they've been. You know, they're just hitting on everything. The running game's been solid for him. Pass protection's been good. He's had a tremendous start. His accuracy has just been really obvious, and they've been big playing everybody. So that's why the scores have been such, and we're going to have to do a really nice job in general to slow them down.
Alexander outside, at weak side, at the end of August. What role might he fill this week?
He's able to play both safety and will backer for us, and so he's available for that.
Has Shaquem improved since week one? I've seen more things out of him.
He's doing fine. He's doing really well. Yeah, he played a couple weeks ago a little bit, and he's doing great, making good progress. We have no problem with him playing in the game.
Do you expect KJ to be able to play Sunday, or?
No, he's not going to make it.
How about Carson? Update on him?
Yeah, he should be fine. We're going to go light on him today. He did the morning part of the work, and then tomorrow he should go full go.
Is KJ working out and still progressing? Or
Yeah, he's had a great few days. I just talked to him just a bit ago. He's going to go. He's going to be off today, and then the next 3 days will be solid days back to back to back. See how he tolerates that as he's working his way back in hopes that that kicks him into high gear for the next week.
If Austin Calitro ends up playing for you guys, just with what he's done so far, how important has he been, and just all the experience?
He's done really well. He's played really well. He's been tough. He's tackled well. He's played the scheme well. He's played a couple different spots for us. Versatility, special teams work, everything he's done has been really good. And we honestly we were a little surprised. We didn't know that he was going to be able to play to the level he has. But he's been a good contributor whenever we've given him the opportunity. So if he's the one going, he should do a nice job for us.
Given how efficient their offense is, I mean, how do you take away one part of the game when you got so many receivers that can do what they do, and then Todd Gurley who can do what he does?
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah, they're really doing it, and so we're not going to change the formula of what we believe in playing good defense, and that starts playing up front, and then you got to stay on top, and then you work from there. And they have really been bombing people and made a lot of big plays, and particularly last week you saw them just striking them. We can't let that happen. You can never let that happen if you're going to play good defense. But it starts right up front, right in the middle, and we got to play good run defense from the beginning, and then work our way to taking care of them and kind of try to squeeze it to the inside, to the middle, if we can do that.
How big is it to get Dixon back, and will he start right away?
He's not back yet.
He's not back.
No, he's not back yet. He's got a couple weeks yet. Sorry.
Schematically, are you seeing things especially different about what the Rams are doing versus everyone else in the league?
They've settled into their style, even from when you look at our film from a year ago when we played them early in the season. They've settled into their style a little bit, and they function at such a high level that I think that they know what they're doing better than other people do, and so they're able to take advantage of it right now. They're very hot.
What's they use the fly sweep. What challenge does that present for a defense?
It's a real quick way to get on the perimeter. There aren't a lot of crucial blocks on the play. It's just the edge blocks, and often it happens so fast that the ball's around the defense, and so you have to really do a nice job of containing on the perimeter. It's any play where about half your guys or most of your guys don't have to block anybody. It's a good play, and so it's one that they've featured to some extent. They do a lot of the action, a lot of the motions and all of that, and they certainly have a good timing on when they use the play.
Where's the weak spot in that play?
Well, if you hit the guy as he's coming right off the edge and the defensive line clotheslines him, you can, that's what you worry about that happens.
It's because the Wildcat was similar about 10 years ago, where all of a sudden something that's been used as a staple of like high school offenses for years bubbles up in the pros, and all of a sudden it becomes something that.
Yeah, because guys who coach in high school doesn't mean they don't have good ideas. Look at how the whole spread offense and the whole big sea change has occurred, with spreading the field out and throwing the ball all over the field. I mean, aren't the numbers crazy right now for touchdown passes and scoring and all that kind of stuff? I mean, it continues. We thought maybe a couple years ago that would have peaked out, but it's still going. So I think it's worth stating that what's happening in college football and what's happening on all levels, if you're competing, then you got to try to figure out how to make sense of it. And so, you see shifts and kind of changes and things happen over time, and this is just one of the plays. I don't think it sounds like it's dominating football. I don't think it is, but it's a nice scheme.
You've talked about the progress you've seen out of your offensive line. How big a test is that front that they're going to see this week?
Yeah, these three inside guys that they have are as good as you get, and yes, like we hear us talk about from the middle out, Sue's right there on the center, and he's a big time player, and Aaron is a fantastic player, and Brockers is really big time. They've moved him to play 5 technique for them, and it's worked out really well. So that's it. With the running game, if we're going to be successful, we're going to have to work those guys and block them and get some space on the line of scrimmage.
What do you see in TJ Green?
He's an incredible athlete. He's really fast, and he's over 6'2", and was a great tester coming out. That's why he was cited as a second rounder, and so we think he's got a lot of potential to help us in special teams possibly, and we'd like to develop him. Those long guys always look. The real fast guys look good as a corner someday. So that's one thing that flashed. But he's been playing safety. He played a little bit of corner, not with a lot of background yet. So he's going to be playing safety for us right off the bat, and we'll see how we progress with him.
Is he more of a free safety guy, or is he kind of interchangeable?
He's been both. He's played. He really hasn't played a great amount of football. One solid year starting at Clemson in his junior year, and then he started like 8 games a couple years ago when he was a rookie, and then been in and out since then. So he doesn't have a lot of background. So he's still a new player, developing player.
Now you describe guys as having a way about them on your own team. Does Tedric have a way about him? Have you picked that up?
He certainly has tremendous instincts. There's no question, and that's why he's been so active playing the football through his. When you put those numbers up that he did at college, where he's one of the best pass defenders and most productive guys, you have to have a sense and awareness and a confidence that goes along with that it makes up that way. I guess you're saying, So we're excited about his play, and he's just grown. He's really mature about stuff. He's really worked hard at understanding the scheme and the principles and what we want, and he plays really strict and disciplined football. And so you put that all together, it makes for a chance to be a very productive player. He hasn't had many chances. Our safeties have been going crazy, with B-Mac and with Earl, all over the football in the first couple of weeks of the season. He's been back there some and hasn't had many chances yet, but if you give him some opportunities, he's going to steal the football on you.
The Rams giving him some opportunities?
Well, they're not giving anybody else very many. I know that. They're not going to try to give us any, I don't think.
Promoting Darrell Daniels, do you have to change anything with your tight end position with having Darrell?
No, he's been with us for over a month now, I think, and it feels like a month. And he's been practicing with us and working with us, and so we feel really comfortable with him.
How has Nick been this year? Just what have you seen out of him?
Nick's doing a nice job. Yeah, he's really grown. This is the best he's ever been. He's most complete in terms of blocking and running his routes. He's a good catcher. Really knows our scheme. He knows all the intricacies and stuff, so we can do a lot of things with him.
Michael Kendricks was announced as indefinitely suspended. Did you get any sense whether there was any chance he would play for you guys again?
Well, it's kind of, how do you define indefinitely? I don't know. We don't. When we press that, what does that mean? And that means indefinitely. And so we don't have a sense for what's going to happen right now, and they couldn't give us any, and so we know nothing moving forward. A month ago, or when we signed them up, we thought that there would be a time when there would be a somewhat of a length of the suspension that wasn't indefinite. I don't know what that means, So we thought it was going to be 2 or 3 weeks or something like that. So I don't know what's happening now with that.
Pete, do you stick with Sweezy at left guard regardless of Ethan's?
Yeah, I think we're gonna go that way just because of the continuity the last couple of weeks and the way he's come off the football, and we're gonna work Ethan back in and see how he progresses. He's practicing today for the first time, but we feel really comfortable with DJ and Sweezy playing the guard spots for us. And what it does allow us is Ethan is an extremely versatile football player. He can play tackle, guard, and center, and that's a real benefit. So to have him available to us, particularly as he's working his way back in.
Was I mean, that's a guy you didn't sign till training camp. To have a guy that's come in when he did start 4 games at 2 different spots, just how important.
Yeah, we're really lucky that that happened. You know, we started talking to Swedes back a while back, and thought of it as it would be just an extraordinary get if we could make it happen. And because of his background and his nature, in the way he has played lately, we were just thrilled with the thought of it. And we had to convince him to get here. He's having some other teams that were recruiting him, and it's turned out great. Yeah, we're really fortunate.
In December, you guys lost. That was the biggest margin of defeat that you've had with the Rams in your tenure here. How influential was that outcome in all the postseason changes that you made, both with coaching staff?
None. In that particular game, none.
What's going on with Brandon Marshall?
We just got to get him going. You know, a couple balls got away from him the last 2 weeks, and got a couple passes broken up, and had a drop last week. We just got to get him going, and he, like all receivers, they want to get that ball and get rolling, get the feel for it, and it's been a little bit spotty with his opportunities as much as we've been running the football, but potentially in our scheme, we like what he does, we know what he can do, and we want to make sure that he's part of it. So, but meanwhile, we also want to see David too, and we've been wanting to get David more in there, and David did a nice job when he got his chances. So we're mixing the rotations there, just to try to use everybody effectively.
KJ out and Kendricks suspended, how important is it for Austin Calitro to really step up for you guys? I know you've been high on him.
Yeah, it really is. This is a crucial opportunity for us, just as it was when he had to play for Bobby. But we have good background with him. He has played good football, so we feel fortunate that he knows the spot and he's well versed. But this is one of those opportunities that a guy gets, and I'm hoping that he'll do a great job with it. Again, he's already done well, so we expect him to do fine.
Expect Deion Jordan back this week?
Yeah,
still?
yeah, he's going to go today, and he's full go. So we're getting a couple guys back. It's nice to see Ethan come back and see Deion get back out there.
What have you thought of the defensive line and the pass rush and kind of?
I think we've been really solid in the running game for the most part. We've liked the way we've played, and with the potential of it. Pass rush wise, we've got some sacks. We've got some numbers sack wise, but we would like to always continue to develop our rush, in particularly in early downs.
Kind of seen Deion in the instances he's been able to play for you this year?
He played tough. Matter of fact, I went back when he was banged up just to make sure that I could catch up with how he had done specifically, and he's played good, tough football. He has not missed a snap of playing hard, and he's got some good push. He's been really close on some rushes and all that. So I look at him as he's still a young, new player. He's a developing player. He hasn't played a lot of football, and with a great body and speed, and his motor is good too. So we have really high hopes that he can be a factor, and he has the ability to push the pocket and knock tackles back because he's really powerful. And then we're just developing his technique to make sure he's maximizing his chance on his rushes.
What's Nas Jones? How's he kind of been doing this year?
He's been rolling in there. Nas has done fine so far in the role we've asked him. He's been in and out of the active roster a little bit, but he's versatile. He can play on the nose. He can play 3 technique and 5 technique, which is really a plus for him. So right now he's rolling. He's trying to just get more plays, by competing to get them.
Tedric was the #1 guy free safety all through camp, preseason. Then Earl comes back and he's going to a backup role. Just how did he handle that situation?
He did handle it well, and I was concerned about that because he had really earned the playtime, through camp and all, but Earl had earned it over a long period of time. So I was concerned about him, and so we did talk about it, and he was strong about it. He was kind of take it as it comes, and he was not downhearted. He was not maybe he was disappointed. He didn't show it. He was just what he thought of it. I'm going to maximize the opportunities that I get. It was soon after we figured out how to get all 3 guys on the field, and it worked out fine. And he contributed. He's been contributing in that way. Now that he's a starter, I'm sure he's excited about that. I haven't mentioned it to him specifically, but I'm sure he's excited about it. And this is kind of the opportunity he was looking for, And so he's prepared for this the whole time. There was a bit of a setback in just terms of relying on him as the starter, and he's seen a lot. He's learned a lot. I'm really thinking he's going to handle this very, very well.
You ever look at Kupp in the draft at all?
Yeah, sure. We thought a lot of him. He's a really good player in college. He made millions of records and stuff, and he's done all kinds of stuff. Yeah, they use him extensively. He's their #1 targeted guy, he's used, he's returning punts now. He's involved in their blocking game, the running game, and pass protections at times. He does a ton of stuff for them, and he's a really valuable player.
Any word on if Earl's going to have surgery or what his?
I don't know any updates. Sorry.
When you look at Sean McVay and the offense he runs, what impresses you most about what he does, what he tries to do offensively, and what stands out?
Yeah, I think that he has a great handle on what he believes. His philosophy is really clear. You can really see it. They mix their play passes and the running game beautifully, and they've done it with the style of formations that makes them a little bit unique. And you can see that they have a strong belief in what they're doing. Also, he has a real commitment to tempo and how he tries to utilize that. And they've caught some teams at times that aren't ready for their really hurried up tempo that they use. They vary their tempo, so he has a really good handle. What I would say is that his philosophy is really clear, and he knows what he wants. And so he's carrying it out, and nobody's really slowed him down at this point, so he's on it.
You mentioned Dominican Sue. You guys had him in for a visit. Did it get close at all with him, or?
We weren't able to get close, financially on the deal, but we did a lot of talking. I spent a lot of time with him about the thought of it, and he was considering it. But when it came down to it, the money was, our cap situation didn't allow it.
What do you miss intangibly from Earl, with him not being out there? I mean, Frank Clark said something about he doesn't talk a lot, but he doesn't have to. He just kind of.
Yeah, he's real quiet. He was really quiet. He never gave speeches. He never. He just did his work really directly one-to-one, and really he was more interacting and more engaging, I would say, this time around than he hasn't been in past years, and for whatever reason. He was having a blast, and that's why it was such a hard, occurrence, But what we'll miss the most is the way he plays. The way he plays, it's infectious, because he plays so fast and so hard, and he always gives you everything he's got. So you miss that no matter what sport you're playing or what you're doing, And the cool thing was he really didn't ever have to say a thing. He just did it.
The Rams got to Russell 7 times in the last game in December. Donald obviously speaks for himself. What else was effective in getting to Russell in that game?
We got way behind, and so they're just teeing off, and that's when it happens. You don't have to worry about the running game, and you rush the passer. It's a real classic.
Can Delano do any of that? What Bradley was doing in that big like that dime package?
Yeah, he could. Yeah, he's been practicing in the system all along, so he's available. He's the next guy up.
He can play free safety too a little bit, or
he's played free safety and strong safety. Yeah, was a really good cover guy coming out in college, and played on the slot a lot. So he's just played in a lot of coverage situations, a lot of man-to-man stuff in his past. So he's versatile.
Pete, if he's done with the Seahawks, how would you want fans to remember him?
I'm not going to go there. I won't go there. He's a young man. He's got a lot of playing time ahead of him. If he wants to do that, it's all ahead of him. And it's not time to make that kind of statement, to me.
Anything else?
Ended on that one.
Thank you.